What is happening? Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, Mrs. I don't care what some 40-year-old man has to say about a movie that I made, has become unfathomably based, has turned against the media, has walked out of an interview in which the interviewer asked her, baited her, to call fans of Marvel misogynistic. I can't even believe that this is happening. But it is. And it has happened. And I am absolutely, positively, 100% here for it. Now, obviously, there are a few people who have been more critical than critical of Brie Larson than me. I'm infamous for it. That said, she has kind of undergone a bit of a renaissance, a bit of a return to form, whether it was her personal YouTube page to kind of get to know people, her backing off on a lot of her feminist talking points. Maybe it's because she got a man. I don't know. But this is absolutely bonkers. Let's get into the story. And we'll be talking about this more on today's live stream. We're live Monday through Friday at 1 Eastern over on Quartercast if you're a YouTube-only viewer. If you're open to supporting a free speech app, download Rumble, follow the quartering. If you haven't tried it in a while, the app is much, much better. It's constantly improving. Download Rumble, follow the quartering, at least watch my live streams there, or subscribe to Quartercast. I'm trying to reach 100,000 subscribers by my birthday in April. It's going to be tight. Brie Larson shuts down. Baited question in rare moment of self-awareness. Captain Marvel actress actually refuses to call Marvel fans sexist. In a rare moment of self-awareness, Captain Marvel star Brie Larson refused to take the bait when an interviewer attempted to frame criticism of her and the MCU's Carol Danvers as sexist. Larson had been a divisive figure among Marvel fans for years, never backing down from an opportunity to berate, belittle, and scold the fans for perceived slights. Her comments in the past may have led many to believe she has an axe to grind against male audiences. Despite this, Captain Marvel managed to rake in over $1 billion globally, the many credited to its strategic placement between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, with a post-credit tease in the former rather than twice of the character herself, rather the strength of the character herself. Well, yes, everyone was paying to tolerate Captain Marvel for the post-credit scene that would tease the biggest movie in Marvel history, one of the biggest movies in all time. However, lightning didn't strike twice. The Marvels was left to stand on its own, and it became Marvel Studios' biggest box office disaster, scraping together just $206 million worldwide, at a reported budget ballooning past $370 million due to refilming. That means it lost, about $200 million. With the Marvels flopping at the box office, the writing seems to be on the wall for Larson's future as Carol Danvers. While she was expected to appear in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, a third solo outing seems all but impossible. However, Larson remained tight-lipped about her Marvel fate in a recent interview with The Telegraph, focusing instead on how playing Carol changed her personally. I was aware that taking Carol would make me more of a public person than I was before. But I thought that what the film was saying was more important than my fear. And I also thought I trusted myself to know how to manage my life. She continued, it was a life-changing experience. A lot of characters I play, I'm like, thank you, goodbye, once it's done. I don't feel the need to bring them home. With Captain Marvel, most of the things I learned from her, her agency, her sense of self, I'm keeping. It was great, and she could also be the experience of others. However, when The Telegraph prodded her about why some men were supposedly threatened by her casting, Larson shut the conversation down completely. The idea that people... here's the real reason that the Brie Larson thing happened. People did not like that she was anointed and suddenly the most powerful character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That was about 80%. Sure, there are some guys that just don't like women. But that's like 3. Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, Pepper Potts, all the females of the MCU leading up until this point, never ever faced any kind of backlash like Brie Larson did. The reason was basically not just that she was in the movies, but that she was suddenly the most powerful character, more powerful than Hulk, more powerful than Thanos practically, at least without the Infinity Stones, more powerful than anything, and she was anointed without earning it. That's the same reason people don't like Ms. Marvel and people don't like Monica Rambeau. Although Monica Rambeau was kind of at least brought in a little bit through the WandaVision series. That was a big part of it. Sure, the old comments about not caring what men have to say about your movies, that didn't go over well. Not, the reaction, a lot of the interactions between her and her cast seemed terse, and it seemed like they didn't really like each other. Maybe that was true. Maybe that wasn't true. I think at the time, it definitely seemed like they didn't like each other very much, except for Don Cheadle, of course. She responds, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that question, by the way. When the interviewer further pushed, suggesting she ignored criticism as a way to cope with misogyny, the tension in the room reportedly spiked. What I would like you to see is that by continuing this conversation, you are putting me in connection with something that doesn't have anything to do with me, Brie Larson snapped. Let me repeat that. The reporter's like, hey, but my misogyny. And Brie Larson learned from talking junk about men, and she replies, what I would like you to see is that by continuing this conversation, you are putting me in connection with something that has nothing to do with me. Brie Larson snapped, seemingly understanding that the interviewer was likely trying to bait her into calling fans sexist. Realizing the hostility, the interviewer shifted tactics, asking whether Hollywood still struggles to accept female superheroes. Larson didn't budge. I don't think there's a way for me to answer that without it becoming a problem for me, she said, once more refusing to take the rage bait and stir up even more controversy around her image. I mean, Brie, based, she might believe that there are real problems with, female superheroes in Hollywood being accepted. She very well might believe that. But what she learned this last time is that it's not worth it. It's not worth the heat. And really, quite frankly, if that's what she personally believes, I don't care. That would not prevent me from seeing a Captain Marvel movie because I would know about it. Right? There was a great time in history where we didn't know every little stupid idea that actors and actresses had, and you could enjoy a lot more of them, right? You could enjoy a lot more of these actors. At that point, Brie Larson's publicist jumped in and shut down the entire topic. She knows. Brie Larson cannot put out a line saying, men bad. Just can't do it. It's not good for her in general. It's a surprising moment for Larson, who in the past hasn't shied away from attacking fans. She famously dismissed criticism by once saying, I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work about A Wrinkle in Time, and that she only cared about how the film resonated with women of color, biracial women, and teen women of color. Given her inflammatory remarks, it's likely Larson has finally realized that fueling controversy will not help her career or her chances of sticking around in the MCU, which probably pays better than any other gig. Setting Captain Marvel in the 1990s disconnected the character from present-day MCU, and her role in Endgame was surprisingly minimal, despite being teased as a major player. Then, the Marvels failed spectacularly, proving the audience wasn't interested in a Captain Marvel-led team-up when the Avengers weren't involved. When Avengers Doomsday comes out, slated for May of 2026, and Avengers Secret Wars 2027, Carol Danvers may still have some role to play, but at this point, it looks like the sun could be setting on Brie Larson's tenure as the Marvel's cosmic heroine. I mean, look, does this mean I'm going to run out and pay to see Captain Marvel? No. But Brie Larson herself will tell you that movie isn't for me. right? That movie wasn't for me. That movie is for all the strong women out there who need a strong, independent female superhero character. And that's okay. It's 100% fine that this movie exists. It's 1,000,000% fine that this movie exists. It just means that she learned that there's really no value in bashing the fans. And that there's no, I mean, men pay to see her movies too. Did the Marvels tank because of Brie Larson? No. The Marvels didn't do well because Captain Marvel was never popular enough to carry her own movie. And Brie Larson isn't a big enough draw to make up for a gigantic budget. I think a Captain Marvel movie starring Brie Larson on $100 million budget would have made money. Could have made money. When they spend $400 million, that means they have to make $800 to $900 million just to break even. That's placing an impossible task on a niche character and a niche actress. I love that she shut down this stupid feminist, reporter presses further asking, listen, is not paying attention your way of dealing with misogyny? The article continues noting, a few seconds of chilly silence passes. I mean, I have no personal problems with Brie Larson. I wish the best for her. This is a great moment for her to not bash the fans when she really didn't have to do that. So shout out Brie Larson, my queen. I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. Make sure to leave a like on it. Make sure you check out Quarter Cast. You tune in Monday through Friday at 1 Eastern. Absolutely would love to have you join us live or watch the show on its replay. We'll talk to you again real soon.